Welcome to the Williamsville Live Wire broadcast here at the BOS Center. Williamsville plays the Macomb Bombers tonight in the Super-Sectionals, a game that Williamsville hasn't appeared in 33 years. Coach Beard coaching in the biggest game of his career from here on out, and tonight no different here against Macomb, BOS Center. Guys, what's the thoughts?
I mean, it's got, like we said last game, even more this game, it's got the big game feel. You know, we're in a stadium this time, not a gym. You know, not a stadium, or an arena. We're in an arena. There's a ton of fans here. You know, it's got big game feel written all over it, and it is a big game. I mean, it's the biggest game of arguably Bullet history, so this is a big one tonight.
And I know both teams are different on paper, whether it's the size, the attributes of both teams, but what both teams have in common is they are hot at the right time, and they have both been overlooked throughout the season, maybe struggled a bit in the regular season, but they've came alive at the right time, and it's led them to this huge super-sectional matchup. Macomb knocking off the consensus #1 Peoria Manual in 2A, and Williamsville obviously continuing their legendary run, and it is March, so anything can happen here tonight.
It's madness, and it's actually March. You know, you win that game. The last game was in March. This game's in March, and it's madness. Once again, want to thank you to our sponsors for this entire season, Elite Lawn Care. You can contact Ashton Heidable at 217-652-3190. And Wade Muller at Westtown Ford, continued support of the Williamsville Wire. You can contact him at wade.muller@westtownford.com. And Top Tier Springfield is wishing all athletes good luck through their seasons. Let's go ahead and take a look at our bracket. And this is the whole bracket of the teams remaining, all of the 8 teams. Obviously, Williamsville, Macomb playing. Chicago Phillips takes on Beecher tonight. Chicago Latin takes on Byron, who's had one heck of a season, a historic season for the Tigers. And then Benton and Teutopolis are set to play 2 heavyweights from the South. And I think there's a lot of people that didn't expect Teutopolis to make this far of a run, but definitely these 2 teams at the top here at Springfield. I don't think there's anyone who thought that these would be the 2 teams playing.
No, and if you took a look at the bracket before playoffs started and you were a betting man, you would probably pick Peoria Manual and Alton Marquette. I mean, they were the 2 teams on paper that looked the best. They felt the best going in, and they had the strength of schedule to really compete with the best in 2A. And then I want to go down south to Benton and Teutopolis. With Teutopolis winning this with both Tolono Unity and St. Joseph Ogden in their regional and sectional, it's just, I mean, it was a magical run by them too. That is also continuing, and that's what makes high school basketball so great, is the fact that you never know what team can come out on top, if what team's having a good shooting day, what team's struggling from either the free throw line or beyond the arc. It doesn't matter. But for Williamsville tonight, they've got the hot hand, and they're going to need to continue it if they want to head to Champaign.
Yeah, I mean, nobody definitely saw the Williamsville Bullets here. They struggled mightily in late January, early February. I mean, they lost those 3-4 games in a row to Prairie Central, Plains. Those games were rough. I mean, they really were. You were thinking, man, you know, I don't know how far this team goes. These senior seasons might be over pretty quick, and then, you know, they won a couple. They won that big New Berlin game. You're like, okay, this defense is getting it figured out a little bit. Then you lose to Auburn, and you're like, man, they're right there. And then the postseason run starts, and now you're here. So an absolute Cinderella run. And I mean, if they can make it to Champaign, that's probably the biggest thing that's happened in Bullet basketball history.
Yeah, well, it'd be the second time they've ever been to state, but they'd automatically be in the semifinal, unlike last time. And they took 4th place last time under Kerry McVickers, who I believe may have given them a pregame speech today, gotten the boys fired up. Clock reads 8 minutes and 20 seconds till the game begins. I want to take a look at last game against Alton Marquette. You know, you take a look at scoring, and you know, Garrett Timm led the way with 13 points. Brecken Thomas with 12, and Thomas's 12 were crucial, and they came in crucial spots, and we absolutely needed buckets. And that's the difference with Brecken, I think. And he's been a really pivotal player for Williamsville in this postseason run.
100%, and let's not also forget, you know, the role players that kind of just step into their role. Garrett Timm obviously has been an integral part of what Williamsville has done both offensively and defensively. His length, his size, and his ability to shoot the deep ball has really proved to be a huge asset for Williamsville here in this postseason run. And obviously, Carson Kohler, his defensive prowess in the middle, can get going at times when necessary. We saw those 6 early points against Alt Marquette in the first quarter, kind of fouled out there, or was close to fouling out. And actually, I do believe he fouled out in the late third quarter.
He did.
Anyway, you look at the role players for Williamsville. Obviously, you know, you rely on the best players like Demo and Brecken Thomas, but they play just as an important part as well. And I think Braden Scott off the bench can have a huge game when given the opportunity. But for Williamsville, the story has been their 1-3-1 trapping zone defense. That's basically revitalized this team and sent them to where they are now here at the BOS Center.
Yeah, and again, Macomb, another team that's never faced a 1-3-1. I mean, you can watch it on film all you want, but you're never really ready for it. You're never really ready for what it brings and how uncomfortable you're going to be. And on a big stage like this, uncomfortability is not what you want. You want to be comfortable. You want to have your open shots. And if the Bullets run this 1-3-1 to the best of their ability and put it all out on the court, they're going to be uncomfortable the entire game, and that's going to put them in a rough spot. So, I mean, Macomb, I don't know if they're ready for the 1-3-1, but you never know. Anything can happen in March.
I'll say it once. I've said it a million times. This entire run is defined by our defense. You know, it has been, it will continue to be a defensive battle every single game. And I think this game, you know, Macomb held Peoria Manual to 40, and on paper that seems like, oh my God. I mean, Macomb's got phenomenal defense. But Manual, if you look at that game, they literally held the ball. Like, I mean, Manual beat themselves by not pushing the ball, by not pushing the pace, by holding themselves down. They beat themselves, and Macomb, and kind of you look at Williamsville and Macomb, they're both very fortunate to be here. Williamsville, 1-point victory over Alt Marquette in the final seconds. Macomb, same story over Peoria Manual 2 games ago.
And like you said, the final score doesn't really dictate what happened in that Peoria Manual game. Obviously, I went back and watched it. I was very curious to see how this Macomb team was, and they held the ball, the Peoria Manual team did, and I feel like we mentioned on the broadcast times before, they were playing not to lose, and instead of playing to win and go take it, they got to a almost 20-point lead in the first, and then just, you know, recycled the ball, just kept, you know, finding passes, and really didn't get good looks from deep or inside either. And Macomb was able to chip away at that lead, and soon enough they ended up on top in that one. So definitely the score can be a little misleading, but nonetheless, this is a great team that we're facing. They're hot at the right time, and Williamsville's going to have their best night. And I know I'll keep saying this until they inevitably lose,
or win it all.
You never know.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to play their best games. Everyone's going to come out on top tonight, and they're going to have to fire on all cylinders, particularly Braden Sailing, who's been relatively quiet this postseason. Had 21 against QND, but then really hasn't taken a step back. We saw him hit that big 3 against Alt Marquette, but other than that, he really hasn't shot the ball as much. I'd like to see him get open looks, and Garrett Timm's got to continue what he's been doing.
Yeah, but honestly, I mean, he's been quiet, but he hasn't had to score. I mean,
which is a good sign for Williamsville.
It is. And in those other games, those early games in the regionals and first game of sectionals, when we were up big and, you know, had big leads, he didn't need to score. It was all just play defense and go win a game. But then you see last game where, you know, it was a back and forth game all game, and I don't know how many he had, but he came out and he hit a couple big threes. I know he had a couple 2 or 3 big threes. So, I mean, if he's not going to score and you keep it close, he'll score at the right time. Like, he's going to make shots when he gets open. So you just got to find him open, and he'll make shots when he needs to. And, I mean, the rest of the guys have been doing a great job of scoring as well.
You know, William, you know, you got 2 Cinderella teams, and one of them's going to Champaign. And I think that's something that both teams are going to use. You know, Macomb, they're on a Cinderella run. They haven't won a sectional. I think it's been at least 15 years. Williamsville, it's been double that. And Macomb, you look at them, they outsize Williamsville. I'm looking right at them, and you know, they got height, but do they have enough? Do they have a motor like Williamsville? There's not many teams that out hustle us.
I don't
even know if there is a team in the state.
In 2A.
In 2A, that's left. I don't know if there is a team that
credit that to Coach Beard and his coaching staff, the way they play with grit and determination. It's really just hasn't been this postseason. It's been all season where they love those low-scoring games, those high defensive motor battles, and they'll score at the right time and they'll score when necessary. And we've seen that throughout this IHSA postseason run.
Yeah, and Coach Beard will win a game 25-24, and he will be more ecstatic with that if he wins a game 57-56.
Today's a win at all costs. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what
no,
he
I
wins.
know. I'm saying in general, he will win a game 25-24 and be more happy with that than he would be with a 57-56 because he's a defensive-minded coach. He always has been.
You know, at college courts, particularly this year, Williamsville hasn't necessarily shot the best. They played pretty good at Eureka, but at IC, of course, the infamous game there, and then at the county tournament, all-county tournament long, they didn't shoot well. And there was multiple lines, so you can make a case here. There's only one line. It's a high school line. It's a high school court here, besides the baselines are a little longer. But, you know, I think Williamsville today has just got to stay locked in. This is the same court dimensions as it is back in Williamsville. You're playing on a big stage, but I talked to the guys, and even last game when it was deafening loud in there, and it might be even louder tonight, they didn't hear it. Everything goes silent. It's going to have to.
100%, and this is what big games are made for. I mean, what do these players have? When I said it, you know, against the regional championship against Riverton, how are they going to respond to adversity? Riverton came out and beat them in the regular season, and now they ended up winning when it mattered. And Williamsville tonight is going to have to silence those doubters and silence those haters and block out the noise.
Yeah, and you said it in the Alton Marquette game as well. You know, we were up 7, and then we were down by 3, and we were like, what do they have? How are they going to fight back against adversity? And they did it well, and they pulled that one out. So we'll see how it goes tonight.
We're going to take a quick break for the national anthem and starters. We'll be back for starters and for the tip-off, guys. It's going to be a classic tonight at the BOS Center, and it's going to be one for the ages. Stay with us here on the Williamsville Wire. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Let's go ahead and look at our starters for tonight. It's the same starters we've had for this entire postseason that's made this magical run. They're looking to continue that all the way to Champaign, but it's going to be a big one here. Garrett Timm, Braden Sailing, the guy who made the game-winning shot last game, Brecken Thomas, power forward, Reed Bodine, and at center, of course, the big man, Carson Kohler. Taking a look at the starters for Macomb tonight. Number 1, Drew Watson. Number 3, Connor Bishop. Number 10, Dion Doyle. Number 12, Braden Holthaus. And number 20, Ian Case. Macomb coming into this one with a record of 25-5. Guys, what are we thinking?
And you look at this Macomb team, they do have the size advantage. I mean, their only starter is under 6 foot is Drew Watson, and he's 5'11", so he's not far off. So Williamsville, just like against Alton Marquette, is going to have the size disadvantage. But with this defense that they run, it's really not that big of an advantage for Macomb, like we saw against Alton Marquette, and talking to Coach Beard earlier, that they play similar play styles here compared to Alton Marquette. They like to move the ball around. They like to drive when they can and kick out for open shots. So for Williamsville, if they're able to clean up some mistakes they had defensively at last game against Alton Marquette, then they look like a more polished 1-3-1 zone defense, and which we already know can cause havoc for opposing team offenses. So for Williamsville tonight, take care of the ball offensively, get shots you like, and obviously your defense is going to have to be what gets you to state. It's what gotten you this far so far.
Yeah, and for Macomb, number 10 and number 20 are their best. Those are their guys.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Number 20, 6'7", he plays in the middle, likes to go to the hook, likes to go to the baby hook. And Doyle is number 10, and he shoots a lot. He shoots almost every time he gets the ball. Shoots a lot, scores a lot. So 10's their best, 20's their big guy, and those are the two battles we're gonna have to watch all night.
Dion Doyle going up against Carson Kohler to start the game, and everyone's on their feet.
It just feels like so much pressure.
Kohler will win it, and Thomas has it to start the game. I think Doyle went up for it, but he kind of didn't get his footing correct to bring it down. Thomas gives it down to Kohler near the right block. He'll swing it to Sailing. Sailing on the key. Timm thought about shooting. He'll go back to Sailing. As it would have been a far shot for Timm. Timm, by the way, has had a lot of first buckets for Williamsville in this postseason run. Thomas near the free throw line, swings it, Sailing in. Now out to Timm. Timm, open lane to the bucket. Ooh. No foul is called. The ball is loose, and Macomb will get it. We've got a double dribble called, so the Bullets will get it back after the turnover.
So again, a good take there by Garrett Timm. Just kind of lost the ball, make a little contact there, but
I think there's a few jitters here for both sides early to start this game.
And a double dribble gets it right back, and that's a big turnover too.
Yeah,
I mean, first points are big.
Yep. First points are huge. Sailing has it, right wing. He'll stop. He'll kick it down. Kohler. He's going to lose it, and it's into the hands of number 20, Ian Case. Case swinging it. Watson back to Case near the left wing. It's across the way. Finds Bishop. Bishop, it's tipped, but it finds its way into Watson. Watson left wing guarded by Thomas, swinging back. Holthaus. Holthaus. Now Bishop. Bishop, right corner. Down. Case underneath gets the first points of the night for the Bombers.
So in Case, a tall, strong player, can use his post moves to get inside. Kohler will have his hands full here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup for Kohler. He's good.
He's going to have everything and some more tonight dealing with him. Timm near the key. Now we'll swing it to Thomas. Thomas contested pass. Bringing it in, swinging it to Sailing. Free throw line, giving to Bodine. Bodine looking for some points early, and this one shot is no good, but it's a good rebound by Kohler down low. He's stuffed out of bounds. The Bullets have the ball down low. No, not much offense.
I would have liked to see him kick that back out and start something new or pump fake. I mean, he's bigger than you. He's going to stay straight up and block that every time.
Case is going to be a force to deal with.
Yeah, he's tough.
Thomas, Sailing, key, three, no good, but Kohler has a chance, but it's saved and bounds by number 1. A good play by Watson, and the Bombers will have it.
So again, Sailing taking the first shot here, second shot here tonight.
You want him to take it.
Gotta hit it.
Yeah.
Watson swinging it. Doyle giving back to Watson. Watson swinging it to Holthaus in the 1-through-1, guarded by Thomas and Bodine. They've had some early success. It's out of bounds, but Sailing will save it. They're going to say it did go out of bounds before it went into Sailing's arms, so Bullets get it back.
So the first turnover for Macomb, besides that double dribble in this 1-3-1, Williamsville needs to have a ton of those here tonight.
Defense is looking good, and that's kind of the key, but now it's your offense.
It can never be less intense than the start. It has to be the most intense it can be from the start to the finish.
Now it's Thomas. He'll get his dribble and kick out to Sailing on the right wing. And out to Bodine. Bodine's able to get it. It was a contested pass. Not exactly the best idea there for Sailing, but the Bullets catch a break. Kohler's going to set a screen. Sailing, he's trapped. He'll get back out to Kohler. Kohler to Sailing. Sailing to Thomas. Thomas thought about shooting. He'll give to Timm. Timm at the key, pulls from 3. Shot's no good. Bombers get it back. A few missed shots early for the Bullets as they look to get their offense going. Holthaus swinging. It's Conley back to Holthaus in the 1-through-1 now. Watson guarded by Thomas. He'll swing it. Holthaus Back to Watson. Watson swinging over to Case. Case in the right corner, almost turned over. It is turned over. It's Timm. Timm will give it to Kohler. Kohler up to Bodine, and he will slow it down as the Bullets get it after a turnover.
Again, Macomb defense coming up huge here. They're locking down their shooters.
Thomas driving in through some contact, and that shot's no good. Not exactly the best shot attempt, but neither side has made much of an offensive effort so far.
Another defensive battle, Nathan. Who said it?
It's going to be Holthaus swinging it. It finds its way to Doyle. Doyle's got points number 4 for the Bombers.
Williamsville offensively needs to find some sort of rhythm. Obviously, Sailing and Timm 0 for 1 apiece to start, but need to find something.
Sailing was open for a moment. Thomas is going to turn it over as it's into the hands of number 5, Conley, who's fresh in the game. Holthaus thought about shooting. He'll swing it back to Case. Case, Watson. Watson giving it. Conley pulls from 3 and drills it. And how about this start for Macomb as they've got a big lead early in this one.
Yeah, just tough defense from the Bombers early on. Really, Williamsville just hasn't had an answer offensively. A couple turnovers defense-wise, but it doesn't matter if you can't put points on the board. They find themselves down 7 here early.
30-second timeout called by Coach Beer. This timeout's brought to you by Elite Lawn Care, Wade Moeller at Westtown Ford, and Top Tier Springfield. We'll be back. Welcome back to the wire. The Bullets down by 7. Largest, I believe this is the largest deficit that they've faced all postseason. Thomas swinging, Garrett Timm. He'll give to Bodine. Bodine, Thomas, right wing, down to Kohler. Kohler trying to go up through some contact, and that layup is no good, and it's pulled down by Doyle. And Doyle swinging it up to Watson. Watson guarded by Bodine and Thomas. He'll give it back to Holthaus. Holthaus in the 1-3-1, swinging it to Watson. Watson left wing, trying to drive in. He'll give down to Doyle. His shot, no good, but it's brought down by number 24, Hobson, and he goes up, and it's a 9-point lead for the Bombers.
So again, lack of offense turns into some offense for the Bombers, and they're able to get inside and score the tough bucket.
Gotta get a bucket. The first one hard to get. Sailing, driving in, shot way no good, and the offensive effort here has not been there so far. It's in. Watson driving in. It's going to be out of bounds off Carson Kohler, so Macomb still has it. Bullets down by 9.
Scott coming in for Bodine, so Scott's been that offensive spark off the bench for Williamsville all season. I'd like to see him take it and possibly finish through contact.
And this is going to be turned over. Thomas into the front court, looking for the first bucket of the game, and he has it. And it's a crucial one.
And maybe that's the only thing they needed to see was a ball go in the basket. And now they're going to be right there.
Looking for something. They're only down by 7 now. Watson swinging it. Conley almost turned it over, but it's Doyle. Shot no good. Can they pull down the rebound? They cannot. It's fought for down low. It's going to be number 24, Hobson, getting the rebound and the bucket as the Bullets defensive rebounding continues to struggle.
And when you're
Thomas,
down 7.
Timm, right corner, pulls from 3. Shot no good, but a good rebound by Scott. Scott driving in. Shot's no good. And it's going to be up into the front court. Watson, right wing. He's looking for someone to give it to. He'll give it off to number 5, Conley. Conley swinging Watson. Watson, right wing. Back to Conley on the left wing. Thought about pulling from 3. He'll give it across the way into the left corner, but Macomb has it yet again.
Again, their size is showing tremendously as they've corralled 4 offensive rebounds so far.
Conley swinging. Watson from 3, and he drills it. 14-2 early in this one. You can't deny it. The Bombers are hot.
They're really good, Nate. They don't miss.
They don't miss.
And if they do miss, they get the rebound.
Their defense is playing very, very well. Williamsville's had some missed shots, but you know, that's kind of, you live and die by shooting if you're Williamsville. He's talked about it. Tonight they're dying. Foul called, and this is going to be the first foul of the game. It's on Macomb. It'll be on number 10, Dion Doyle.
So that's important. If you really can't stop him, you're going to have to force him into foul trouble. And Doyle is first foul called all day.
Pretty clean game so far as fouls go, but Bullets find himself down big. Thomas will give it in. Sailing. Now he's going to pull back and shoot. They got to have it. They don't. It's into the hands of Hobson.
Nothing going for the Bullets.
Nothing.
At all.
Rebounding, really defense, everything. Holthaus swinging it. It's into the hands of Conley. Conley across the way. Holthaus in the 1-3-1, swinging. Watson. Watson trying to drive in. He'll give it back. It's almost turned over, but Hobson has it. They catch a break there. Conley from the left wing from 3. Shot is long. Scott pulls it down, and he'll give to Sailing, and he'll try and set up the offense here at the end of the first.
Need some big here. 2 points at the end of the first is
going to be one last
inexcusable.
Shot. Thomas has it in the left corner. Thomas swinging it. Timm pulls from 3. They got to have it. They don't. Macomb gets it back, and shooting's been...
It's been a struggle.
Yeah, it's been not even inconsistent. It's just not been there.
They haven't made a shot yet.
Watson giving it Holthaus. Holthaus back to Watson. Holthaus. 14 down to 13, down to 12 seconds remaining here in the first. Conley giving it. It's Hobson. Hobson back to Watson. Watson trying to make a play. Swinging it out. Holthaus driving in. Now giving over to Case. Case's layup is good at the buzzer, and the Bombers are up by 14 points at the end of the first quarter.
So again, defensive struggles for Williamsville and offensive. Williamsville just hasn't played a complete game like we've seen, and Garrett Timm hasn't been able to hit. Braden Sailing hasn't been able to hit. Credit that to probably the backdrop. They're not used to this type of environment, and it finds them down 14 at the end of the first. Williamsville's going to need a miracle to get back into this one.
We'll see you in the second quarter. Williamsville needs a big answer. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Macomb has the ball to start the second because why wouldn't they? Because everything seems to be going their way, but they've earned it. They've earned all the points that they have right now, and Watson has it. Left corner, he's trapped, but he'll swing it out in transition. Thomas looking for more transition points tonight as he will get it.
There we go.
Thomas at 4, and that's all Williamsville's offense has had so far as they find themselves down here by 12. It's going to take a lot, but anything's possible. Conley down. It's going to be Case. Case up. He's got an answer.
He's unstoppable. Yeah, he's unstoppable.
Thomas has it. 7 minutes and 20 seconds remain here in the second. He's loosely guarded this time by Holthaus. Thomas trying to set up the offense, swinging Timm. Timm to Kohler. Kohler has a wide open layup, and he'll lay it in. So finally, some offense from Williamsville.
So again, the story of this will have to be turnovers to easy points in transition.
It's going to take, your defense is going to have to.
The half-court defense just, I don't think, will be enough for this Bombers offense, so they'll pick it apart.
Conley swinging it. It's Holthaus. Case down low. Sailing falls on the ground. Conley swinging Holthaus. We've got a foul's going to be called on Bodine.
Head coach Jeremy Anderson telling them to overload the right side. They're trying to get one of their shooters open on that back stretch. I don't think they believe Sailing can close out fast enough.
Bodine's foul there. That's the first for Williamsville in the game. Holthaus swinging it. It's in the hands of Conley. Conley back to Holthaus. Swings down to Case. Case out to Watson, pulls from 3. Shot is no good. The Bullets will find a rebound. It's Bodine. He'll give it to Thomas. Thomas brings it into the front court. He'll swing it to Sailing. Right wing.
Big
loosely
possession.
guarded by Holthaus. Now it's Brecken Thomas. Timm, right wing, trying to make something happen. He'll give it to Brecken. Brecken Thomas driving in. And he will be fouled, and it's a foul called there, so sending Brecken Thomas to the line.
Free throw consistency comes up every time. Every first we are at the line, and I always say, anytime you're able to get points when the clock isn't running, I know it's still early, but it's a good sign, and you need to play defense as well. You got to create turnovers. As Thomas misses the first, but you got to create turnovers defensively, and you're going to have to be consistent.
Thomas missing the first. He's got a second at the line. Shot is good.
It's only an 11-point game. I mean, this game is not out of reach yet.
It's just, Williamsville's got to stay in it. They got to keep this within that. So, and this is almost turned over, but it finds its way to Holthaus. Holthaus swinging. Now it's Conley. Conley swinging back to Holthaus. He'll give to Watson. Watson to Case. Case down to Doyle. Doyle's mid-range jumper. Can't find the bottom of the basket. And the Bullets have yet another possession, and they need a bucket. Garrett Timm up the way in the left corner. Now they're going to have to reset out to Sailing. Sailing resets to Thomas. 5 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the half. Thomas near the key. Kohler driving in on Case. Kohler getting it back out. Kohler thought better of that possession. Sailing to Bodine. Bodine in the left corner. Bodine giving to Timm. Timm thought about shooting. He's guarded by Watson. Timm open left corner. Pulls from three. Shot no good. And no three-pointers have fell tonight for Williamsville. And that's going to have to change if they want any sort of slight chance
It's about
of winning.
the best look you can get for your best shooter.
Yeah, and he's 0 for 3 so far. Watson, no foul call. They'll swing it. It's Watson driving in. Foul this time will be called. It's on Bodine, and that's his second.
Man. So Bodine's second. Scott's going to have to come back in, but offensively, got to hit shots. Garrett Timm 0 for 3 to start, and Sailing 0 for 2. Or excuse me, 0 for 1. Shooters that just have not been there tonight, and
5 minutes remain here in the second.
Part of it could be the backdrop.
At the line, and he's got it.
And we talked.
Got to change fast.
We talked before we came on the broadcast. Me and Colin were talking about how defense and three-point shooting is what has got us here, and the defense has somewhat been there, but the three-point shooting
starting
has not
to
been
get
at
there. Macomb, our defense is starting to get there, but man, it's going to be hard. If you're not shooting well, you've got no chance. Thomas at the key. He'll swing it. Timm, right wing down to Kohler. Kohler near the block. He'll give out to Thomas. Thomas makes one man miss, but gives it out to Scott. The jumper off the glass is good.
So that's a big time.
That's a big bucket for Scott.
Like I said, Braden Scott can come in and score.
Williamsville's back
when necessary.
Finally back within 10 points.
They've got some offense going in the second half.
Holthaus swinging into a wide open Case, and a good play there by Sailing. Almost got the turnover.
And it would have been a wide open layup, too.
It would have been. So Sailing there was either going to foul or he was going to try and go for the ball, so he's able to knock it free. So Bombers got the ball on Williamsville's baseline down low.
And Case comes out, and now they have a little bit, I mean, it's not as big of a height disadvantage. So, like, this is now your time to go.
Watson has it. He'll give to Holthaus. Holthaus swinging it. Watson. Watson near the key, guarded by Timm in the 1-through-1. Holthaus swinging Watson. Williamsville needs some big defense here. Conley, Watson to an open guy. Thought about shooting. Holthaus swinging down to Hobhouse, that's
He'll take that shot any day.
Hobson. It's no good. It's Timm out to Sailing, and then Bullets have it back, and they can do some damage here. Sailing in, jumper, no good. And that would have been a huge bucket for Williamsville. It's up the way. Doyle driving in, mid-range jumper, shot no good. Scott, a great rebound. I gotta say, I've been impressed with Scott's rebounding so far.
Force Macomb into the mid-range. Usually that's where they struggle from. They can hit threes and they can hit inside. So
Thomas, Scott left corner now driving in on Doyle. Scott doing his best here. Now he's gonna have to kick it back out. He'll give it to Sailing with 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the half. He's not closely guarded, but he will give it off to Thomas. Thomas this time loosely guarded by Holthaus. He'll swing it. Kohler, left wing. Kohler giving to Timm near the key. Down to Thomas. Thomas, it's tipped. Kohler out to Thomas, pulls from 3 on the right wing. He never saw it.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds, so it's a turnover. But Thomas there, you just got to get your feet because he's open and he's got time because the defender isn't even looking at him.
And a lucky break there from for Williamsville.
Lucky.
Doyle wasn't able to corral in and senseless turnover, but Williamsville's got to convert on their mistakes. That's what's brought them here.
Sailing pulls from 3. Shot is no good, and they are 0 for 5 from 3.
Man, it's there,
At
too.
least 0 for 5. Might be 0 for 6, honestly. May have missed one there. Holthaus swinging. Hobson out. Holthaus pulls from 3. Shot's no good. Scott, another rebound, and he's been
a difference maker.
Yeah,
he's been a difference
Scott's
maker.
rebounding is definitely, Sailing. He's trapped. He'll give off to Brecken. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Williamsville's got to find something.
Just find something before the half to take in.
Good shot. You got to have a good shot.
The locker room, and I would like
Timm pulls from 3. His shot's no good, and the shooting struggling continues for the Bullets.
So Williamsville being all hot in this postseason run comes cold here.
If Williamsville hits half of the shots, we got a tie game.
And they're getting all the looks they want, too.
Yeah.
They're getting everything they want.
They're gonna have to start finding it. Holthaus giving down. It's Conley. Swinging it. Watson down to Hobson. His mid-range jumper is long. Scott, a great rebound.
So again, like I said, you got to force them into the mid-range. Make them shoot that in-between shot, and Nick Beard wants a timeout to draw something up for some offense.
Empty-less possessions for both teams for at least a couple minutes there, but the Bullets are only down 10. And like I said, if you make half the shots that you've missed this game, we've got a tie game. We'll be back here on Williamsville. This timeout's brought to you by Elite Lawn Care, Wade Moeller at Westtown Ford, and Top Tier Springfield. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Braden Sailing looks to inbound with about 2 minutes remaining here in the second. Possession arrow points towards Williamsville, so they are set to have the ball in the second half. Sailing, he'll give to Kohler. Kohler on the block, looking for something down low, trying to work over Hobson, and that's a good layup for Kohler.
That's huge. That's a big shot.
And he's at 4, and Williamsville's got to get some momentum rolling their way. They're only down by 8. Macomb's offense has kind of gone quiet, but
minute 30 left. You need to force them into an uncomfortable shot or a turnover.
Hobson swinging it out to number 24. And that shot's out of bounds. The Bullets will not have it. Macomb has it down low. They're going to say it's tipped.
So again, I think that's kind of those ones where you didn't call the foul, but you're going to say it's tipped and it goes out of bounds.
I can't see that. I mean, maybe for up high, you know, I might have a chance, but again, I had no shot.
I can't see it either, but you always want that to go your way.
Watkins is in to play some defense and to hopefully
Conley, it's turned over. Thomas into the front court. Thomas in transition, has the layup, and the Bullets.
Right back in it, baby. Here we go.
So again, a minute left. Force into an uncomfortable shot. You would imagine they would probably hold for one. If not, get it and score offensively and make this a one
Watson
possession.
driving in, swinging. Conley, open shot, steps up for a 2. Shot's no good. It's pulled down by Hobson. Hobson swinging it. It finds its way into Conley, and they're going to try and set up their offense here at the end of the half. Watson pulls from 3. Big shot from Macomb. No good. Scott can't pull it down. It's out of bounds. Macomb out of bounds. Bullets have the ball.
So for Williamsville here, a 4-0 run to start this after the timeout, and Carson Kohler, big shot, but again,
shots still. You got to find something
find some
from
sort of
outside.
offensive consistency. I feel like we haven't so far. Obviously, Thomas on the transition, but 34 seconds left. You would ideally hold for one shot, get a 3 or a 2, make it a closer game going into half than
You'll
what you
take
thought
anything
at the end of the
based on
first.
the end of the first. The Bullets are definitely improved defensively, and that's definitely been the biggest part.
In this half strong,
if their defense keeps playing as well as it is and they keep rebounding, they're in it. They're in this game.
They're absolutely in it.
15 seconds down to 14. Thomas, one last shot. The Bullets look for a huge momentum swing here if they can actually get something. Kohler screen. Thomas, right wing. He'll try to get it out. He'll give it to Timm. 4 seconds. Sailing. Thought about shooting. Now Sailing will throw up some sort of shot. It almost went in, but that is the end of the first half, and the Bullets have a little bit of momentum.
You go into this half feeling better than you did at the end of the first quarter, and credit that to Williamsville, the resiliency to come back and make it a 6-point deficit, but halftime adjustments, you're going to have to find some sort of offense that works for you, and against this defense, credit to Macomb. They've been playing tight so far, been on the shooters, but we gotta hit shots. Garrett Timm 0 for 3, Braden Sailing 0 for 2.
If we can't hit shots, I mean, your defense, they're tired already. I mean, they've had to. Their defense has carried them so far. They're only down by 6. It was what, 15 at some point?
It was 16 to 2 at the end of the first. So for Williamsville to come back and make it an 11-3 favor in the second, credit to their defense again, but got to find, like I said, offensive consistency. It's going to be the downfall or the Achilles heel of this team here tonight, or it's going to be the thing that sends them to Champaign.
Williamsville's 0 for 9 from three-pointers. Garrett Timm himself is 0 for 5. So that right there, Garrett Timm's 0 for 5. He's 0 for 6 from the field in general. Carson Kohler's 2 for 4 from the field. Braden Sailing is 0 for 3 from 3, 0 for 6 from the field. Brecken Thomas 3 for 5 from the field. Braden Scott 1 for 2. So the shooting trouble has definitely continued. They're 6 for 24.
Definitely.
I mean, if you literally add, I mean, you had 2 buckets.
I know.
I mean, you had literally 2 buckets
like that.
to that.
And maybe the first quarter's a little bit different. Maybe we get some runs that we didn't knew we needed, and this is a different ball game if we hit our shots. But again, like we said this going into it, the backdrop, how it's different for shooters like G. Timm and Braden Sailing. Obviously used to a wall behind them, but this time they got bleachers, and it's a cool place to play, but it might be the downfall of this Bullet squad, but we got a whole nother half to figure it out.
It's a whole nother half.
And we're still in the game.
It's like a whole nother game almost.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just down by 6. You got the ball to start the second. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right before the second half begins. Bullets down by 6. We'll see if they've got another magical run for them. They're going to need it.
of this third quarter, we're done. Well, duh. It's 13-19.
Here we go here on the Williamsville Wire. Braden Sailing looks to inbound. Just talking about it, Williamsville, they've got to do a lot to pull this one out. They got to chip away. That's all it is.
You know, if Macomb starts hitting shots.
And it starts right now. It starts with this first possession.
Set the tone here. Let's go.
Thomas has it. He'll get it in. Holt Haas guarding him up closely now. Thomas swinging. Kohler sailing right wing, pulls from 3. Shot, no good, but Bodine is going to get a tough rebound. Jump ball, possession to Macomb.
And another missed 3. That's 0 for 10 now. They're going to have to get something going. I mean, that's what they live and die by.
And obviously Sailing's been your go-to guy ever since Shuffler has been injured.
Yeah.
And for him not to be able to shoot like he has been, it's kind of demoralizing for him, but you got to look through. You got to keep shooting. You know, that's what shooters do.
Do you try to put someone else in, like a Ryan Mendenhall, who's kind of a shooter? You know, maybe he's can get something going. But it'd be hard to see how, you know, it takes a while for shooters to get good looks, but
it'd also be hard to see how Mendenhall plays defensively.
Yeah, right. That's just as important. 7 minutes and 24 seconds remain in the third, and it's going to be an open basket for number 10, Dion Doyle, and he'll lay it in.
But then still finding the holes in the defense. Dion Doyle able to finish through contact and get a tough layup to go.
Sailing near the key. He'll give it off to Bodine. Bodine dribbling in, swinging. Garrett Timm, right corner, thought about shooting, but he'll dribble in.
Good pass.
Good pass to Kohler. Kohler, no fouls called. He'll tip it out. It finds Timm. Timm thought about shooting. He'll give Thomas. Thomas sailing in the left corner, pulls from 3. His shot is no good, and they're 0 for 11.
It's all right.
I mean,
everyone in the gym knows it. It's 0 for 11.
And everyone in the gym feels it.
Yeah, it's like they're going to get.
And if you look up at the scoreboard,
and
you see
they called a foul, it looks like. And it will be Brecken Thomas's first, I believe.
Yeah, if you look up at the scoreboard, you see it. Like you see, it's 21-13.
Carson Kohler's first.
And that's not reflective of the game. I mean, we've played just as well as them.
And another thing to note that Kohler only has 1 foul at the end, and that came in the second half. So, good sign.
Good sign foul-wise, not good sign shooting-wise. It's almost turned over, but Conley able to corral it for the Bombers. He'll swing it back. Holthaus. Case. Case down low, guarded by Bodine, and Sailing. Case's mid-range jumper is good. And the Bullets find themselves now back down by 10. It was 6.
And you see this can't happen again. No. That big 14-2 run can't happen again because it'll be too late.
Sailing. Free throw line to Kohler. Kohler able to get it. Working through some contact, and he actually
tough shot.
Works through and gets the basket, so it's back to an 8-point game.
Tough shot. Got to play defense now, and like you said, Simcoe, just keep chipping at it.
Got to. Holhaus swinging at it. Now it's Case. Now it's Watson. Watson back to Case. Watson once again driving near the left wing. Case has it. Tries to establish. Kicks it out. Holthaus. Once again, Conley. Conley almost lost it. Now he'll swing it. Case driving in through some contact, and it's out of bounds. They're going to say off Bodine.
Man.
Bombers have it down low. It's a tough call.
That is a tough call. Good defense, though.
You got to take away those passing lanes. It's how you've created turnover so far, that and the trap. If you're able to do that, convert on offense, you find yourself right back into this one.
Watson, he'll give it down low. It's to Case. Case working through some contact. It's no good. The ball's up in the air. Bodine has it. He'll give it to Thomas, and this is a massive offensive possession.
Huge.
Sailing, dribbling in, giving Kohler, trying to work through some pressure. Can he get it through? He's got the foul and one, and all of a sudden the Bullets feel like they're right back in it.
And it's Kohler. I mean, when you're not hitting from 3, Kohler's got to step up, and Kohler is doing just that. I mean, he's a senior.
He's at 8 points.
He's the leader. He's the heart and soul and the leader of this team, and he's putting it together right at the right time right now.
So Kohler finishing through contact. We'll see how he does from the line. If he's able to stay consistent, maybe it could be a source of offense.
No good, so Bullets 1 for 2 at the charity stripe today, or 1 for 3 at the charity stripe today.
6-point game again, Nathan.
Yeah.
But then again, you can't let Macomb go on one of those mini 4-0 runs, and then you're right back to square one.
You got to find yourself with the momentum in your hands. You got to find some turnovers, got to find some baskets. Here it is. It's Holthaus pulling from 3. It's no good. It's another great offensive rebound by Doyle, but it's got stripped away by Kohler, and Sailing has it, and he'll work it up the way for Williamsville. He'll give it off to Thomas. Thomas dribbling in through some contact, and no foul there, but the shot is no good. It's into the hands. Holthaus, he's going to swing it out. It's into the hands of Conley.
I don't like that shot.
No, I don't
Thomas.
either.
Neither do I.
Shot selection so far hasn't been the greatest.
Hasn't been
But the
terrible.
shots haven't fell, so, I mean, you can't really sit here and say. Case, left corner, swinging it down. Conley, right wing. It's going to be turned over, and Thomas has it. And here's where it's going to have to come. Timm, right wing, driving in transition. Foul's called. 2 shots coming up for Garrett Timm.
Only bad part
Gotta
about
hit
that
free
is
throws.
that
Have to hit free throws.
The only bad part about that is that Garrett Timm is not. He's a shooter, but he's not one of our best free throw shooters. So,
but
he's got to make them.
hit.
He has to.
With
He
the
just
clock
has
not
to.
running, when you've been losing this entire game, you've got to find points.
Garrett Timm being that knockdown guy that you've seen, and first free throw's good, but
this is since early in the game, really this entire game, this is Williamsville's lowest deficit. So
another notable point is that Carson Kohler's gassed. So Jackson Sanders just came in to give Kohler a break. We'll imagine Kohler going in within a minute or so just to refresh his legs and get his breath.
It's no good. So
5 points. Right back in it. It was 14 at one point.
3:45 remains here in the third. It's Watson. He'll swing it down. Bishop. He'll give down. Doyle. Shot is good. So Macomb has a response, and we're back up to a 7-point lead.
And that's where Kohler not being on the court hurts you.
And you're fine if you can net zero this with any offensive bucket.
Timm pulls from 3, and the shooting struggles continue. They're 0 for 12. From 3 points.
That is killer.
And Williamsville at this point has got to just be looking for down low buckets, I guess. Holthaus, it was almost tipped away by Bodine. Doyle finding into the hands of Hobson. And it's going to be kickball, so what are we having?
I like to see Kohler get back in. Yep, I love that.
Yeah, Kohler coming back. You got
fighting through
Scott, who's really been one of your best rebounders.
Yeah,
I mean, we haven't seen a lot, but today he's been a great rebounder.
I love seeing Kohler come right back in.
You need a defensive stand and some offense.
If you can end this quarter down 3-4 points, I mean, that's
5.
about even at that point. But if you're down
Doyle
10, it's tough.
Trying to drive in. The jumper there is good, and that's a tough basket for Dion Doyle. And now it's back up to a 9-point lead for the Bombers.
Doyle using his length and athleticism to really get Kohler at a disadvantage and converts on the tough layup floater.
Kohler handling the ball. He'll give it out Sailing, right wing. Shot selection here. Hand it off to Kohler. Kohler, right wing, this time guarded by Hobson. Kohler swinging. Timm to Thomas. Thomas near the line, giving out Braden Scott. Trying to dribble in. He'll give it out to Timm. Timm gives to Thomas. Macomb cheering here for their defense. Here comes Scott. Thomas has it. Now it's Sailing. Sailing this time picked up by Holthaus. Thomas driving in, shoots a jumper, and the shot is no good, and it's pulled down. A tough rebound by Doyle. I don't mind it. I don't mind that shot from Thomas. He's hit that, and it was a good-looking shot.
And got separation.
It's just not there. I mean, it's just not there. Watson, he'll give it to Holthaus. 1:53 remain. Watson, this time left wing, kicking it. Holthaus. Now it's Conley. Conley swinging it. Holthaus again near the key. Watson has it. Been a great ball handler so far. Now it's Doyle. Dion Doyle swinging it across the way. Holthaus giving it. Conley thought about shooting. Now he'll step up and shoot a jumper. It's going to be saved inbounds by Watson. Williamsville had absolutely no one there.
Again, coming up on the quarter here, we'll see if Macomb holds for one final shot.
Holthaus, Watson, Doyle pulls from 3. Shot, no good. Scott not able to pull it down, but Kohler will have it. And 1:15 remain. The Bullets are down by 9. Timm up the way, in transition, working through contact, and that's a travel. And he just went too fast.
And it just hasn't been that day for Williamsville, plain and simple.
Just some in general.
Inconsistency from beyond the arc turns into inconsistency just offensively, because that's the majority of your offense is a Garrett Timm bucket, Braden Sailing three-pointer, whatever you need.
The fourth quarter is going to have to be
flawless.
Well, shooting-wise, you're going to have to make shots. I mean, that's if they want any chance. Holthaus swinging it. It's Case. Back to Holthaus. He'll give it across the way. Watson giving back to Conley. It finds its way into the hands of Holthaus. Holthaus giving to Case. Case, he's going to lose it, and the Bullets can't get a break there. But it will. It finds its way through. Out of bounds. Williams will have it. They don't call the ball. I think that's a good example there of no foul, but we'll give it to Williamsville. So Williamsville, Bodine, and Timm back in. Last 40 seconds remaining here in the third.
Williamsville needs some momentum.
Yeah,
would hold for one shot, and it just takes a basket.
It's only going to take a bucket, but like for three-point shooting, all you need is one.
Yeah.
And then I think the other people feed off that. It's kind of like we've talked about. Timm's hit a three-pointer, or Sailing has hit one to start each game. Sailing thought about shooting there from the left wing, but Sailing will lose it on the ground, out of bounds off Macomb. So Williams is going to have it for the last 19 and 6/10 of a second remaining left in the third.
I know our shooting struggles continue, but you would almost look for a three here. The way nothing has been open inside besides Carson Kohler down low. I mean,
this has been
got to see something.
Tough basket here for Thomas. They're going to say he's fouled, so he'll go to the line for two. You got to hit him. 16
Thomas,
seconds.
1 for 1, at 1 for 2 so far. We'll see how he does this trip. Could cut it to a 7-point lead, and it's 16 seconds left. You're going to have to D up if he makes both.
It's the first.
It's like Beard's going to play Watkins.
Doyle back in. Hobson goes to the bench for the Bombers.
So turning offense to defense. Watkins needs to step up in a big way for these final 16 seconds.
Thomas hits the second. 7-point lead for Macomb, 7-point deficit for the Bullets.
It's a 7-point game, but
you got to have a stand. If it's a stand here, Williamsville's going to have some major momentum. They're going to have the ball as of right now to start it. It's Watson, 6 seconds, swinging into the hands of Holthaus. Holthaus, Connell will shoot from three. Shot is no good. So the Bullets catch a break. It rimmed up, didn't go in. Bullets find themselves down by 7. And if the Bullets can find some shots, really both sides of them, offensive struggles today, but I think we've had a little bit more offensive struggles than maybe what we've experienced this entire season. And it's going to come down to the final 8 minutes potentially of our year. And we'll see if Williamsville has enough grit to get through. We'll be back here. Stay wired in. Welcome back to The Wire. Williamsville Wire live wire broadcast here from the BOS Center, as this game seems like it's flown by due to all the great defense and lack of offense.
It's been a defensive battle. I mean, a barn burner. Both teams in the 20s to start the final quarter, and something you don't normally see.
Sailing giving to Kohler. Kohler will give it to Sailing. Sailing to Timm. Timm near the key, drives in. He'll give it to Sailing. He'll work it around the side. Thomas driving in, giving to Kohler. Kohler looking for a good bucket here. He's driving in on Case. Kohler throws something up, but it's no good, and Doyle pulls it down. And another pointless possession. No points scored there for Williamsville there.
Can't score, you got to D up, and that's the final solution, is create some sort of turnovers or force them into a bad shot. I like the mid-range for Macomb because
Macomb's
they can't.
although their offense has had some struggles, they haven't turned the ball over a whole lot. I think they've had a few, and we've capitalized, but it's going to take a lot more. Holthaus swinging it down low. It's going to be Doyle. Doyle working in on the bullet defenders, out to Watson.
Oh my God,
it's a foul.
So Thomas came flying in there like a bullet,
yeah,
a metaphorical
like
bullet, and
man.
that's a hard foul. And
hard foul. No intention there for Thomas. So
0, and Watson looks to be all right. So just a common foul. Could have seen being a flagrant, but they decided not to.
So I think he actually may have gotten a little tripped. So it's out of bounds. They're going to say off Sailing, stays with Macomb. Man. Sailing making a good defensive play.
And I have a feeling Macomb's just going to try to hold.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, they're going to try to, which you would think they see the manual game and they learn from that, but it looks like they're going to try to hold.
Well, Manual had some offense in that. Williamsville hasn't really shown it.
That is true.
They can put up consistent points. Here's Watson swinging it down low. It's going to be Conley. He'll give it back out. It's tipped by Thomas for a moment, but Watson giving it Holthaus. Holthaus giving it back across the way. Watson. Holthaus back to Watson, left wing, swinging it. It's too high, but it's saved in bounds, and the Bullets don't have anyone there. Watson lost it for a moment. Holthaus has it. He'll give it back out to Watson. Watson to Case. Case trying to go to work. Watson pulls from 3. It could be the dagger. It's no good. Kohler able to pull it down, and he'll give the Sailing.
So again, if they're going to run clock, you're going to have to score. Yeah, these possessions just mean so much more now with the season on the line.
Sailing in. Foul called. 2 shots coming up for Sailing.
It's another big one.
So again, now we start talking about chipping away and getting points when the clock is stopped. 6:05 left with a chance to cut the deficit to 5.
Macomb Sailing at the line. 6 minutes and 5 seconds remain as Sailing hits it.
I don't know if you guys are feeling this feeling, but I feel like we're right there, I also feel like we're down
by 20. Yeah, I was just talking.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
We're right there. We're right there.
But I also feel like they're in total control of the game too.
Sailing hits the second. Bullets down by 5. That's the lowest it's been since basically the first minutes of the game. In Williamsville here, this is your season. Last 6 minutes, down by 5.
All you are is a 3-pointer away, a made 3-pointer away
giving
from
it
that
off.
confidence.
Holthaus. Williamsville needs everything from everybody on the floor. Holthaus back to Watson. And they're just holding the ball here. They're in no hurry. All these possessions.
And why
you
would
just got to find a stop. Case back, finding Holthaus into 1-3-1. He's got to dribble out. He'll give it out. Watson back to Holthaus.
See, that's the only problem with the 1-3-1 is someone's always open, so they can just play hot potato at this point.
Case giving out. Holthaus finding Watson left wing. It's tipped away. Thomas has it in transition. It's yet another turnover. Thomas is going to be fouled on the floor.
There we go. We got a little something brewing now, Nathan. There we go. We got our confidence. We got our turnover. Now we go. I mean, this is the time.
This is it.
If you've ever needed to end your drought, this is the time.
This is it.
It's like Macomb's going to call a timeout.
Yeah. If this is ever the time, if you ever need a 3-pointer in your life, this is the time to have that 3-pointer.
It's right now, and it's now or never for Williamsville. 5 minutes and 19 seconds remain. Williamsville, they feel the struggle right now, the shooting efforts, but it's now or never. They're down by 5. They're going to need something with this offensive possession. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Sailing has it, left side, closest to their bench. He'll inbound it. this is the offensive possession for the Bullets season. 5 minutes remain, or at least that's what it feels like. Sailing, right corner, doesn't shoot. Now near the key, giving off Brecken Thomas. Thomas, right wing. 5 minutes and 11 seconds remain. Bullets need a shot they like.
Whether that comes from Sailing
three,
or Thomas.
I don't know. Thomas giving Garrett Timm left corner. Now he's got to give it out. He will to Brecken. Brecken Thomas driving in through some defenders. It's no good, and it's right into the hands of Colt Haas. Shot selection there just hasn't been the greatest.
That's not a good shot.
It's into the hands. Conley almost turned it over. Doyle, big layup's no good. Kohler pulls a huge rebound down.
So again, you take advantage of that Thomas.
Foul's going to be called, and it will be on number 12, Colt Haas. Thomas got fouled.
It's only 3.
Bullets have it.
I just don't like that shot.
I don't
Thomas.
either.
There was nothing.
I think
there was
he
nothing
rushed
there.
it. He rushed it.
There's nothing there.
In a game where nothing's fallen, it's.
Yeah.
I know he was the man at Beardstown where he beat final seconds to beat Alt Marquette, but you know, you got to take shots that you're comfortable making, and I don't think Thomas was comfortable
And
on
if you
that.
make a shot, I mean, it's a one-possession game again.
Sailing out to Bodine. Bodine near the free throw line, finding Timm. He thought about shooting. Timm will give off to Thomas. He's going to pull from 3. And he nails it, and that's the one that they've been waiting for.
There it is.
So you would think it would come from Garrett Timm or Braden Sailing, but Brecken Thomas is the guy that hits the first 3 for the Bullets here tonight.
There it is.
And you need a big stop.
He's going to almost turn it over, and he will. Kohler has it. He's into the front court to Timm. Timm, and it's stuck.
There's a foul.
There's a foul called. 2 shots are coming up for Garrett Timm, and he can tie the game.
So again,
right back
the
in
biggest free throws of your life.
Oh
Garrett Timm.
goodness.
What a shot by Brecken Thomas, man.
You
What
felt
a
like
shot.
Williamsville was right there.
And Thomas, big shot. And
Wow.
Gotta take a deep breath.
Man, it's a big-time shot.
Timm at the line. First is good.
Again, 1-point game, and who would have thought this at the end of the first? Macomb seemed to have all the energy, and now them holding the ball really didn't take a page out of Manuel's playbook. And
Guys, they had 18 points after the first quarter. They have 27 right now.
Timm ties it.
It's a tie game.
Timeout. Nope, we got a substitution.
whoa, okay. Someone thought it was a timeout.
They all thought it was a timeout.
Yep, I think so.
Wow.
Williamsville needs to settle down. It's a tie game, 27-all, and Williamsville
for a trip to go to state.
Goodness.
So again, now we were talking about very little time. Now
Macomb's got to go.
There's so much time.
Now Macomb has to go.
And I think we could take advantage of this in the 1-3-1 if they're going to pass it around.
Conley swinging it. Watson open, pulls from 3. His shot,
good.
no good.
Rebound.
Can they find a rebound? It's going to be back out into the hands of Macomb, and it finds Holthaus. Williamsville efforts for today have been all over the place. Watson, 3 minutes and 35 seconds remain. Holthaus swinging. Conley trapped, finding, turned over. Brecken Thomas into the front court.
He's got to be
driving
careful.
in. Fouled. 2 more shots for Thomas.
Man, oh man.
So again,
the Williamsville can find their first lead of the game.
Wow. What a game again, Nate. I mean, as the playoffs go, the games get better, and we're witnessing another classic.
Wow. I
And
mean, who would have thought? I mean, who would have thought?
It was 18-4, 18-2. 18-2 after the first quarter, and the Bullets have allowed in this second half, I believe, 7 points.
Yeah.
I think in this half.
The defense.
Points.
Defense travels. I mean, if Williamsville somehow they win this game.
I mean, it's the defense.
That's it. I mean, that is it.
It is.
Williamsville is having the worst offensive night.
They've had.
Maybe. I mean, you look at Macomb. Macomb's offensive night hasn't been bad, but they haven't shot a shot in so long.
No.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and catch our deep breath. You're not going to want to miss the end of this one, folks. You may not have thought it at the beginning, but we're going to have an ESPN Instant Classic on our hands. Welcome back to the wire. Everyone seems to be on their feet. 3 minutes and 22 seconds remain. We got a tie game here in the fourth. Thomas at the line looking to give Williamsville the lead.
Both teams have 3 timeouts left, so nothing.
This is, if he makes either one of these, Williamsville has their first lead
of the game.
Yeah. He's got it.
Wow. Oh, my Lord.
What a turnaround.
From down 16 points to a 1-point lead in the fourth quarter. That is insane, Nathan.
Thomas, second good.
And we talked about
How about it?
A motor.
So now Williamsville is feeling it, so don't do anything that can jeopardize this. Don't do any silly fouls, but just play the defense that's gotten you here.
Holthaus swinging. Conley down to Doyle. Doyle trapped. He's got to get it out. It is Conley. Conley swinging it. It's Holthaus. Holthaus giving it. Watson almost turned it over. Now he's trapped. He throws it. It's over in the hands of Conley. Under 3 minutes now. It's going to be almost turned over. They got to get back on defense. Bodine tipped it away. It's Conley. Thought about pulling from 3. He steps up, shoots the jumper. No good. It's Watson pulling it down for Macomb. Holthaus from 3, giving to Macomb the lead, and he finds it. And now it's a 1-point lead for the Bombers.
So a tough bucket, but they're still, like we talked about, very little time, but now they got all the time in the world.
By Coach Beard.
2:34, and that's a huge shot.
Huge shot for Macomb. They needed it. It rimmed off the front side, and Williams was going to need a shot like that because they're 1 for 13
But they
3.
made it when it mattered, Nathan. I mean, that was... What a shot.
Yeah.
That was huge.
We talked about it. They needed a 3, and Williamsville still right back in it. They find themselves back down by 1. We'll be back after this quick timeout. Welcome back to the wire here at the BOS Center. The Bullets have the ball. They're down by 1, and they need a bucket to take the lead back. 2 minutes and 34 seconds, like I said, remain. Sailing them down, he'll give it into Brecken Thomas. Thomas near the key, swinging at Garrett Timm, who hasn't had a great shooting night, but I don't think anyone has.
Here we go.
Their season, both teams are on the line, but for Williamsville, man, it feels a lot different. Sailing, the jumper is good, and the Bullets back in front.
And ideally, that was a good shot at the right time. Gives Macomb, they have to respond, 2 minutes left, but if you force a turnover here, you can possibly hold it.
Conley, travel, Williamsville gets it back.
So again, it is not over. I repeat, it is not over. Williamsville needs to take care of the ball more than ever. You don't have to have a shot unless you absolutely like it.
And don't be like Macomb. Go play to win this basketball game.
Play to win, but
you do not
be
smart.
If you don't like it. Yeah, it's different. Thomas has it. He'll give it to Bodine. Bodine swinging, sailing, guarded by Watson. He'll give it to Garrett Timm. Under 2 minutes remain. Braden sailing, guarded by Watson.
Count.
Sailing, giving Timm. Timm now closely guarded by Conley. Timm giving off to Sailing. 1 minute and 30 remain.
And Coach Beard does have a timeout. If the team feels like they're not getting anything going, they could call
gives
one.
to Thomas. 1 minute and 28 seconds remain. Thomas fouled on the floor, so that's 5, so 2 shots for Thomas. So it's free throws. It's free throws.
And it's been, you know, this season, Simcoe, we always talked about it.
And somehow I feel like now we're in control of this basketball game for like the first time in the basketball game.
Yeah.
That Macomb's controlled it the whole game.
It's Thomas. I mean, I said this last game, but free throws today are more important.
Big free throws. Got it. That's massive.
Thomas's first is good.
And if you can hit this shot, Nathan, then all they can do is tie. And all they can do is tie. And they're gonna waste 30 seconds in the 1-3-1 to get a shot. And all they can do is tie.
Thomas is second.
Good. That's so big. That is the biggest free throw of his life. That is huge.
Macomb, minute and 22 seconds remain. It's Watson swinging it. It's almost tipped. It's inbounds. Bullets have it. He'll give it to Kohler.
Oh my God.
Beard's saying, we got to hold it here.
Oh my God.
He's got to get it past half court. A minute remain.
Oh my God.
Sailing has it. He's closely guarded by Watson. Sailing is going to be fouled.
It's going to be fouled.
And Sailing's heading to the line.
So, Sailing, we always talk about it, but the biggest free throws of his life, this turns it into a 2-possession game.
Yeah, these are massive.
I think Macomb smartly fouls. They're going to call a timeout. They're down by 3, and Williamsville can give them a 2-possession lead. Gotta breathe. You need one. You gotta have one.
Gotta have one for sure.
We're gonna take a quick breather. You're not gonna want to miss the end of it. A minute and 1 second remain. The Bullets somehow find themselves leading this one. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. The Bullets can go up by 2 possessions. Sailing at the line. 2 shots coming up. And you'll never have a bigger point in the game. Sailing's first. Doesn't find it, so now the second one, the pressure's on.
Gotta have one.
One. That's all you need is one. Confidence is up. Step to the line. Gotta deliver. 1 minute remains.
This has been our Achilles heel all year. It comes down to it.
Sailing gets the second one.
That's a really big free throw.
Bullets up by 4. Minute remaining. Macomb really needs a bucket.
2-possession game. Do not, if you're going to foul them, do not make sure they hit, or make sure they do not hit the shot.
Down to Doyle. Doyle's going to be fouled by Kohler. That's a smart foul.
That's fine. Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's a fine foul.
He's probably going to make that shot.
Kohler, by the way, that's only his second in the game.
Yeah. So again, Williamsville does have foul to give. They've got 2 in this quarter, so they got 2 fouls to give. Kohler obviously not in foul trouble, neither is the rest of the team. So if you don't like anything, just hit the foul button.
Conley swinging Watson. 48 seconds remain. Back out to Conley. Conley dribbling in. It's stuffed away. Doyle up. Hits a tough layup. Holy crap.
They're going to have to foul.
Sailing into Bodine. It's back to Sailing. Can't turn it over. Sailing swinging.
Coach Beard has a timeout.
Thomas swinging. Kohler open in the front court. And Kohler is just going to give it back Bodine to Sailing. 26 seconds remain. Sailing to Thomas. Watkins has it.
No.
Watkins, timeout called by Beard smartly. With 19 seconds remaining, and the Bullets have a 2-point lead. Ooh. They're 19 seconds away from pulling this one out, and I think it's going to come down to free throws.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going to take yet another quick break. It's a 30-second break. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Williamsville looking to inbound, and they've got to have everything clean.
Coach Beard does have another timeout left, so if they can't get it open, it's not the end of the world.
Sailing gives it in.
That's good.
foul will be called on.
Could have been a jump
So
ball.
Timm goes to the line, and both of these are absolutely crucial.
You need to hit one because, I mean, if they hit a 3, then it's still a tie game, and no.
Yeah,
but
you
you ideally
absolutely
like
need
2.
one. Yeah,
but
2 would
Timm
be just
needs to
pivotal.
hit 1, and he's
18
been
seconds
consistent from the
remaining,
line
so
so far.
It's a smart, quick foul for Macomb.
Yes.
Got it.
So I would imagine, Timm, another free throw to make it a 2-possession game, and that will be huge.
Yeah.
But you would imagine you would either foul him, Kohler, or Bodine. You wouldn't send Thomas or Sailing to the line, but Timm making him pay.
Timm hits both of them.
Love it.
It's clutch.
So they got a
Subs in.
sub
It's
timeout.
Watkins.
It's Watkins for Timm, who that offense to defense, we've seen it with them
Beer
multiple
just
times.
said they have fouls to give. Macomb to inbound. He gives it in. It's Watson.
Do not foul on the
Watson,
three-pointer, though.
and he's going to be fouled by Thomas.
Good smart
so
play.
14 and a half seconds remain.
You just cannot foul on a 3-point shot,
No.
Nathan.
No.
And Macomb is fast. I mean, they can blow you off the ball. If you get caught over pursuing on that trap, they can make you pay. So game's certainly not over, even though a 2-possession game with 14 and a half seconds left.
It's going to be Watson. He looks to inbound. I'll give it to Case. Watson's going to pull a deep 3. Shot's no good. The Bullets can't find it. It's out of bounds. It's Williamsville ball.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He
8
might be
seconds
headed to
remain.
state,
Hold
fellas.
on.
It's not over.
Bodine to inbound if they can get it in.
Not even
like
close. But, man, is it right there.
Bodine to inbound. He'll give it. Kohler. He's got it. Thomas, 6.5. Timm that's Sailing. And the Bullets are going to state.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We did it. Guys, we did it. The Bullets are going to state. And what a season. Wow.
This is unbelievable.
What a game.
You've never
What
seen
a
anything
season.
like this in your life.
Oh, my God.
From down 15, the Bullets are heading to state.
We will catch you at State Farm Center, baby. It's not over yet.
Unbelievable.
It
We'll
is
be there on
not over
Thursday.
yet. Wow.
We're signing off here. Nick Beard, the win of the century for the
Wow.
Bullets, heading back to
wow,
Champaign
wow.
for the first time in 33 years.
Wow.
We're signing off here at
that is
the BOS
insane.
Center. We'll be back, like I said, Thursday. If we win, we'll be back Saturday.